Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I am going to give y'all 1 minute to join me. We are talking about self-care, work-life balance, and avoiding burnout. If you all saw my quick live this morning while I was brewing my coffee, I briefly talked about how it's Monday. So in our industry, typically we take off Sundays and Mondays. So that's what we're gonna talk about. So I'm gonna give y'all a minute and then we will get going. Okay guys, we are going to go ahead and get started. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jessica Fields. I'm the founder and owner of Jessica Fields Aesthetics and coaching and mentoring. So today we are talking about self-care, work-life balance, and avoiding burnout. Just full transparency as usual, I am live on Instagram, I am live on Facebook, and we are recording for YouTube. So my eyes will move back and forth over the 3 cameras that I have rolling. I am going to be looking at questions on Facebook and Instagram. So if you have questions, please drop them in the question box, not in the comments. That way I don't miss it or overlook a question. Okay. For those of you who did not catch my live earlier this morning, go back and watch it. Drop a few things that you guys do need to know. But I'm gonna get right into it. I want you guys to understand what burnout is. Burnout is, and I have a definition. Burnout is actually a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion that results from prolonged stress, overwork, and continuous exposure to demanding or emotionally draining situations. Burnout can affect individuals in various professions, including estheticians who provide skincare and beauty services. So I want to break down how it can affect us as estheticians. Physical exhaustion. We typically spend hours on our feet. Sometimes the services that we provide can be sitting down. For example, a good portion of your facial is sitting down, but to have good ergonomics, which is good movement in your body as you're providing your services, you're gonna have to stand up. You're gonna have to do different positions. Prolonged exposure of doing that can lead to physical exhaustion. I don't know about y'all, but when I do a full day of, say, Brazilian waxes, and with my Brazilian wax, I dance around the table because I'm looking at the vagina from different angles. I'm trying to make sure I've got all the hair. I'm putting you in flexible positions. I'm putting myself in flexible positions because I want to make sure when you leave, you're not taking any hair with you. That's one of the biggest things that my customers say they love about me. Oh, you're so thorough. You get everything. Well, thank you. That's my goal. But by doing that, I'm dancing around the table. And if I do that for 6 to 7 clients every day, at the end of the day, I'm physically tired. This leads to fatigue, muscle soreness, and if you have the incorrect ergonomics, it's going to lead to chronic pain. So you have to manage it properly and watch how you're doing it. Another form of burnout is emotional drain. When we interact with our clients, we're dealing with their skin issues, their insecurities, their sensitivities. We're taking on that information. In our role as estheticians, a lot of times we become some sort of a counselor, a confidant. I can't tell you the number of clients during facials or waxing services start telling me stuff about their personal. They're telling me stuff about their husbands, their spouses, their children's. And there's nothing wrong with that because they get comfortable with me. I'm comfortable with them. We just get to talking. So if you are taking all of that information in and you're accepting it within your mind and within your heart, at the end of the day, you can be emotionally drained. And if you don't know how to cut it off, you take that stuff home to your families. It leads to emotional drain, which is a form of burnout if you're not handling it properly. Another form of burnout is mental exhaustion. taking on doing those physical services for people, taking on, their emotions, how they're feeling, giving them insight, just listening, ear, a shoulder to cry on. And then you doing your job, especially if you're a solo practitioner, or if you're not a solo practitioner and you own your own business with other employees or estheticians working with you. You're having to make these decisions. You're having to follow your own protocols for your services, making sure you're doing them the exact same for every service, so your customers can never say it was different that one time, or, I got more this time, I got more last time. You're having to remember that all the time. And as we're continually doing continuous education, we're learning new things. That can lead to mental exhaustion. You're constantly pumping in new information into your head so that you can then relay it to your clients and customers how you need to. Engaging on social media throughout the day, if you're doing it yourself, can be mentally taxing. Another form of burnout is actually adhering and meeting your client expectations, specifically when they come to you and they tell you they have specific skincare goals and you're working them. And I can't tell you how in the beginning of building my spa, it's not so much now because I've learned how to handle it. A client will come in for a consultation, so I've got my iPad. I'm asking them what they're looking for. I'm asking them about their lifestyle, their diet. I'm taking before pictures, and I spend time and I create a specific skincare routine for them. And I say, okay, you need this product, you need this product, you need this product, and you need to use it this way. You need to use it this many times a week, and you need to come see me this many times a month. They say, okay, yes. They either buy some of the products, not all of the products, or they book some of the services, or they cancel, or they reschedule. Some kind of way they don't live up to the expectations that you've set and told them. And then they come to you weeks later, my skin doesn't look any better. It looks the exact same, or it looks worse. That can be frustrating to you because you're trying to meet their goals, but they're not necessarily doing their work. So it becomes a challenge. So that could be, you can get burnt out dealing with that kind of thing. And I found myself doing that very situation, being burnt out because people weren't following the instructions I gave them. You can deal with burnout through repetitive tasks. Over time, it leads to boredom. Sometimes you can say, oh, I can do a facial in my sleep because I'm so used to it. But is it a good facial if you're just kind of going through the motions and not actually giving your clients that physical touch that they need, you being present in the moment? That's something I tell my clients all the time. Be present in the moment, especially when I'm doing a facial. I pour essential oil in my hand and I hold my hands over their face and I say, take 3 deep breaths. I want you to be present and in the moment. Sometimes I find for women especially, this helps us turn our brain off so we can focus on what we're doing right now. So it's a chance for them to unwind and refill their cup so that when they leave, they can go and do the task that they need to do. So by doing these repetitive tasks, are you able to be present in the moment? Or are you burnt out and you're just doing it so you can get through your day, you can go home and rest and relax? Perfectionism is an issue for some people. I'm happy to say I don't personally deal with it, but I know other people do. And if you are trying to always be perfect, it can be very stressful and you can burn out even quicker. Long work hours or irregular schedules, especially when you're just starting out, you don't have a full day of clients and you're trying to accommodate. You might say, okay, I'm open for business from 10 a.m. to 6 o'clock in the evening. So somebody says, oh, I want to be your first client of the day. So they book at 10. But then you have somebody that says, oh, okay, well, I can only do in the afternoon. So they come book at 3 o'clock. So you're either at your spa or place of business from 10 till 4 when you're done with that client, or you do this client and you leave and you go try to do other things for your business or for your family, but then you're rushing back to get back to the spa on time for that 3 o'clock client. So long hours and irregular schedules can lead to burnout. Financial stresses. You're worried about meeting the overhead that you have, meeting the salary that you want to pay yourself. If you don't meet those guidelines, you can get burnt out. Those are all things that can lead to burnout. And I want to give you guys some tips on ways that you can avoid some of those things. The first thing I'm going to tell you is to take care of yourself. Self-care is absolutely necessary. It's not selfish. It's not a luxury. It's necessary. Self-care is necessary in maintaining your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Self-care contributes to better performance in your aesthetic duties. Some ways that you can do self-care, especially in the physical: posture. So if you're sitting to provide a service, you're sitting up straight. You're not hunched over. You're not leaning to the side. You're sitting up straight, so you're giving your back proper support. If you need to wear something around your waist to make you sit up straighter, and for some ladies, depending on your waist training material, that can help. I actually started using mine in that regard in the spa, especially when I found myself doing waxing and I was having to lean over a little bit more. By wearing my waist trainer, it gave me better support. So my posture is better. Certain times throughout the day, do stretching. Especially if you're doing a lot of seated services, stretching. Start putting your arms all the way up. Lean over, touch your toes. Stretch to the side. There's also this pose that a lot of people used to do as children, where you stand up, completely stand up, and then you crouch down and your feet stay flat and you just open your knees. This stretches your lower back. At first, if you haven't done it in a long time, it can be quite difficult to hold the position, but the more you do it, the easier it gets, and then you begin to realize, oh wow, that feels so good. You're stretching muscles that haven't been properly stretched in a while. So physical self-care, stretching, posture, and the ergonomics. So the way that you maneuver your own body as you provide services. I want to recommend you take short breaks during your workday to perform these types of activities. Focus on the areas that you tend to tense up, such as your neck, shoulders, wrists, and lower back. Stretching can relieve tension and promote relaxation in yourself so that you can better provide services to your clients. Mental self-care. This is stress management techniques. So being mindful and even meditating. That's all very important. Emotional self-care. Setting boundaries, seeking support, and do self-reflection. Personally, every morning I start my day off spending some time with God. I listen to a little bit of praise and worship, I pray, and then I sit and I get quiet. This allows me self-reflection time. I can sit down and I can think about, what do I want to do or accomplish today? And actually, in my dining room, in my master bedroom, on the wall, I have big posters and they say my goals, because those are areas that I walk through my house daily. So I see those goals and I go, okay, that's my goal for the month. That's my goal for the quarter. What action do I need to take this week or this day so that I can work on those goals? So in the mornings, my self-reflection time is highly imperative because it helps guide me through my day. Seeking support. If I'm in an area where I find myself stressed out, bothered, mentally, even if it has to do with clients, family, whatever, I'm going to go and seek support from whomever I need to. And I know a lot of times, in especially the Black community, seeing a therapist is frowned upon. That might mean you're crazy or you have issues. That's not true. You cannot work through your own issues without support. So if you need support, whatever it is, from a therapist, a counselor, a mentor, a coach, get it. There's nothing wrong with it. Especially if you have high goals that you've never achieved before. Now is the time to look into getting support to reach those goals. Because if you don't get support from someone who's already accomplished those goals, how can you expect to pass them? The other thing I talked about was setting boundaries. Boundaries are so important because they allow you to move forward day to day. For example, I had to set a boundary. Personally, I used to have one cell phone number, and this was the number I gave out for business. This is the number my family had. This was the number my friends had. So if I got a call at 9 or 10 o'clock at night and it was an unknown number, but it could have been a family or a friend or somebody new, I'm answering the phone. Hello? Oh, yes, hi. I want to book a service. I want to order some products. So real quick, I had to realize, girl, you got to get a second line. So I saved my little donkeys, because this was years back, and got invested in a second phone line and a second phone number. After my business hours close, that phone is still on, but it's turned to do not disturb. And I actually go and take it in my master bedroom and I put it on the nightstand so it can get on the charger. So people can still call the number, people can still text the number, but I'm not actively looking and touching this phone until the next business day when I'm open again, and then I respond to all my calls and all my text messages. That was setting a boundary, not for everybody else. That was setting a boundary for myself, allowing me to cater to my clients during business hours and catering to my family and friends whenever I was available to them. Even when you're working with clients and you say, okay, hey, this is my business number, let them know you can reach me between the hours of 10 and 6, Tuesday through Friday. Saturdays, you can reach me from 10 to 5. Sundays and Mondays, you can't reach me. That's setting a boundary. I'm letting you know this is when I'm available to you, because this has to do with my emotional self-care, my emotional well-being. I'm trying to avoid being burnt out. I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting the rest and relaxation I need. I'm allowing myself to regroup so that when you do get me, I can give you what you need to the best of my ability. Another quick thing I want to remind you when I'm talking about ergonomics, I just thought about it. Mindful movements. So when you're doing treatments, practice mindful movements by using proper body mechanics. That's the word I need to use, body mechanics. You're paying attention to your posture and your body alignment to minimize the strain while providing your services to your clients. That's for physical self-care. Now, as I'm continuing on, I want to talk quickly about balancing work and personal life. The best way you balance it, and is it really a balance, can be up for discussion. Time management and scheduling. I just told y'all how I broke down from using my work phone and my personal time. You have to sit down and decide what times you're going to do what and stick with them. Now, I understand life happens. Stuff happens with our family. Sometimes you have to make adjustments. But if you have a good idea of the times you're dedicating to doing certain tasks, do that. That's going to allow you to have time to do work and time to have a personal life. If you don't have any type of schedule or time management techniques, then you're just always up and moving. Your anxiety could be high. Your stress could be high. When you're just up and moving, constantly doing stuff, you've got a list of 50 things you're trying to accomplish in one day. You're going to be mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted by the end of the day. You absolutely are going to be burned out because you're just trying to do everything. But if you sit down and you create a schedule, okay, these are for this week. These are the important things I need to get done. I've got to get these 6 things done this week. So I've got 7 days in the week. 5 of those days I want to actively be working towards stuff. 1 of those days I want to be working with family. 1 of those days is completely for me. So those 6 things I want to do, what days of the week can I do them? So each day you're not focusing on more than 1 or 2 tasks at a time. So you're not overwhelmed. Time management and scheduling is a great way to get or achieve some sort of balance between your work and your personal life. The next thing you want to do is prioritize self-care daily. Now, self-care does not necessarily mean you run into the spa and you're at the spa 6 hours. Yes, that's a blessing. I do it once a month. I go to the spa for the day. Once a month. That's one of the ways I refill my cup. I go get pampered on. But that's not what I do every day. Every day, my little bit of self-care is when I unwind in the evenings. So I usually tell my son, okay, this is after dinner. We hung out a little bit after dinner. We've made sure schoolwork is done. Okay, mom's going to go take her shower or her bath or her whatever. And I go in my master bathroom. I do my entire skincare routine. You know, I cleanse, I tone. Might be a day where I mask or I exfoliate. If it's a day where I'm taking a bath, I put Epsom salt in the water, bubble bath. I light candles. I might have a glass of wine. I sit down and I relax. That's a part of my daily care routine. But say you don't have time for that. Whatever self-care activity you want to do, and I kind of gave you all some tips. It could just be some stretching moments. You're taking 5 or 10 minutes out of the day to stretch and relax. You're taking 5 or 10 minutes out of the day to work towards your mental self-care. So some meditation, some stress management, some breathing techniques. If you have an Apple Watch, you have mindful meditation, and it comes on and it encourages you to do deep breathing. They tell you deep breath in, deep breath out. That's mindful meditation. It's a great way for balancing your work life and your personal life because it allows you to recenter yourself to be prepared for your next task. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is setting boundaries with your clients and your colleagues. Now, I mentioned that already a little bit, but I really just want to drive it home. Set boundaries with everybody. Not just your clients, your colleagues. Set boundaries with your family too. Like I just told you, I get my son set up before I go take care of my self-care routine at the end of the night. I'm letting him know that's my me time. Unless you are profusely bleeding, you are dying. That is the only reason you are allowed to come in and disturb me at that time. It's highly, highly, highly important that you set boundaries with everybody and with yourself, because if you don't, it's gonna be back to that situation where you have 50 items on your to-do list. Hey, Miracle, how you doing? Thank you for dropping in. But I just wanted to drive that home. If you're not setting boundaries for yourself and for your clients, your colleagues, your family, you're gonna be back to feeling the same way you did when you had 50 items on your to-do list, and at the end of the day, you were just completely beat up because you're just trying to do too much. And if you don't have boundaries, people are going to constantly be pulling on you, and you're still never going to have the time to refill your own cup, to balance the work, the personal, to relax, to do some self-care. So set the boundaries. You and only you can determine what those boundaries need to be. But if you're at a phase where you're like, I just don't know where to begin, then book a clarity call with me, and I'll be happy to sit down and we can go through that. Ask me your specific questions on where you're struggling, and then I can give you some guidance on some steps you need to take. I actually think I made that as a post on my page this morning. I don't hold back in my sessions, whether it's a clarity call, master strategy session. If you ask me a question, I have the information, I'm going to share it with you. There's no point in me trying to just give you pieces of it. I want you to get the whole bit of information so that you can move forward with your next action steps. So let me just check my question boxes and see if I have any questions so far, because I've been going about 20 minutes and I want to get out of here. Okay, so I don't have any questions on Instagram. No questions on Facebook. Miracle, I've been doing good. How have you been doing? Okay, so I don't see questions now. If you guys do have questions about how you're going to balance your work and your personal life and avoiding burnout, please drop them in the comments or go ahead and book a clarity call. I would be happy to answer those and to go to work with you all. I just want to give you a few quick things before I get out of here. The Lux Spa Party, The Escape, coming up on October 22nd. We still have a handful of tickets left. Do not forget, ticket sales are going to end this coming Sunday, October 9th. I think the system shuts down at 11:59. So grab your tickets before then. Maybe I'll come in actually and I'll drop some pictures in the stories of some of the things that I've been doing lately. Finalizing the menu. I ordered the champagne. You guys know we're going to have a guided meditation and stretch class. I kind of was just talking about that. This is going to be a great way for my guests to unwind and relax. So I went and ordered yoga mats, so we had something comfortable to sit on while we do this portion of the class. So I'll come in and I'll share some of those tidbits in my stories. I told y'all about booking your clarity call. I do have actually 3 slots available this week. October 11th, which is Wednesday. I have a 4 o'clock, a 5 o'clock, and a 6 o'clock time frame. So if you're interested in that, click the link in the bio and you can grab that spot. Last thing I want to talk to y'all about is on the spa side. We are getting ready to launch some new products, and I'm super excited about that. Sneak peek. An exfoliating mask, a fruit enzyme exfoliating mask, some overnight hydration products, and a new cleanser. I would love for you guys to sign up to be product testers. I want your feedback, because your feedback could be the deciding factor on what the product feels like, what the product smells like, the color of the product. Now, what the benefits are pretty much set, because I knew the type of ingredients I wanted to use. I'm using natural ingredients, and I'm actually using ingredients that are quote unquote man-made, but are meant to actually really help the skin. So science. So I'm using natural and science put together to make some wonderful life-changing products. So if you guys are interested in learning more about those products, getting first dibs on it, and providing feedback, let me see. You have a good one too, Miracle. Toodles. You guys can sign up. I'll drop the link in the comments, and you can sign up to be a product tester. The product testing team, it doesn't cost you anything. In fact, it costs me. I'm going to ship you products and wait for you to give me your feedback. So if that's something that you're interested in, just click the link and you just give me your contact information, and someone from my team will reach out to y'all for that. Okay. So that is all I wanted to share with y'all today. I have kept y'all for a little under 25 minutes. Y'all have an amazing Monday, and join me again next week, and we're going to keep talking. If there are things, let me say this before I go. If there are specific things you guys want me to teach about, please drop the comments or send me a DM, and I'm happy to break some of those things down. In fact, I might do a poll in my stories asking y'all over the next few weeks. I already have some topics outlined, but I'll ask y'all which ones you want to know about and give you an option to give me your own topics. So on that note, have a fabulous Monday, and I will speak with y'all soon.